I used to get the Godfather hose from strip clubs. 203, I go, wait, I'm not with the company. I'm not getting fired. Or sitting on Scott Hall's lap twirling his curly Q, the Godfather hoe train. And the girl Mandy, the other Godfather hoe, we were both two-head hoes. She was my roommate, and I scared the hell out of her. And I'm doing this, and Undertaker walks by, and he goes, I'm just so appreciative and very humble, and just, I'm gonna cry.
And we are on the air again. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your favorite pro wrestling story time show with two of the absolute very best. Over 45 years inside of the WWE. He is Big Tommy C. I am the coach. And Tommy, I got to tell you, our guest today, Lisa Marie, formerly known as Victoria, she's going to be amazing. But before we get to her, I need to say proper hello to you. How are you, sir?
What's up, my brother? Everything's good here. I think Lisa Marie is going to be phenomenal, and I can't wait to get into it with her, man.
Oh, she came at basically the same time that I started. I started with Trish Stratus the exact same day back in 1999. And
Wow.
Victoria and Lita and all of these divas then, now they don't use that term anymore. They came in. I hosted 3 years of the Diva Search. So I was heavily invested with the female performers back then. So I'm anxious to catch up with her. But Tommy, we have a big announcement today. We have a big announcement today. Because of the popularity of this show, of our channel, we've decided to expand, and we're going to have a premium club that people can join, and it's going to be called BTT Plus. We're going to have a ton of extra content, but dropping today, our first show on that side, and it's called The War Room, where you and I go toe-to-toe, face-to-face.
Yeah.
Are you ready for a beatdown every single week?
Well, I don't know about a beatdown, dude, but I'm ready for it every week, and I think this is it expands our brand even more, and I think the fans are going to love it.
They are. We're going to do the War Room. We're going to have live Q&As the first of every month where you guys can come in, watch us live. You ask any questions, because part of this business is it's a business most people never get into. So to be educated by two guys that have had so many years, I think is a really cool thing. So we'll do that, Tommy. We're going to have live watch-alongs at some of the biggest shows from our era.
Yeah.
And then also we may add some other stuff in there too. But if people want to join, they can do it right now on our page. Just join, and you guys will not be disappointed.
And that's BTT Plus, right?
BTT Plus. Just hit the join button right here on this page. All right, now, Tommy, today, Lisa Marie, she came in, wasn't your traditional performer, didn't come in the traditional way, and she's a high energy person as well. Yes. What are you most looking forward to asking her today?
I know she had a great relationship with the Undertaker, so I want to really pick her brain about one of the top 5 superstars of all time and the relationship she had with him.
And I'm looking forward to also kind of seeing what the locker room was really like when she came in, the evolution as women started getting full-fledged matches on Monday Night Raw and then later on SmackDown. So without further ado, this is going to be a fun one. Ladies and gentlemen, formerly known as Victoria, please welcome to BTT for the very first time, Lisa Marie.
The following announcement has been paid for by Behind The Turnbuckle Plus, the new pod order.
BTT Plus.
Yeah, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
BTT Plus.
Oh, it's extra content right here, chicos. Think about it. BTT Plus, taking over the pod game.
Live Q&As.
Watch-alongs. New shows.
BTT.
Is that okay, Big Tommy? Enter the War Room. Turnbuckle style.
Plus.
It's the new way. We call it BTT Plus. The genesis has begun. The beginning of the new pod order.
BTT.
Everybody wants to know what to do next. Well, just scan the code. The pod revolution
BTT Plus
starts now. The preceding announcement has been paid for by Behind The Turnbuckle Plus, new pod order.
She is one of our favorites of all time, and we are thrilled to have Lisa Marie on Behind the Turnbuckle for the very first time. And on brand, you got, is that red wine today, Lisa?
Yes, yes, with a little bit of Gatorade Zero because, when you get in your 50s, you get heartburn. Right? Isn't that terrible? Aging sucks, you guys. Aging.
Tommy talks about it all the time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we've got so much to talk about. Me and you have had so much fun over the years. We used to party together. We went out together. So I've been looking forward to this for many, many weeks. But I got to ask you, we ask every guest the same question. What have you been up to since the last time that we talked a few years ago?
My middle name instead of Lisa Marie Varon should be Lisa Hustler Varon because I do a Whatnot live auction. I have a Twitch channel. I am going to start a YouTube channel because you just talked me into this. And I'm just like, I do a lot of Comic Cons, WrestleCons, and a lot of you try to stay relevant so you can get more bookings. You know what I mean? So social media is the future, and a lot of that you have to do it. Especially when you're a retired wrestler.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Yeah. But I'm staying busy. I love when people come up to my table at Comic Cons. They're like, "So, what are you doing for a living?" And I go,
"This.
I'm here for 3 days." I go, "This is my living." Yes. Thanks for following me on social media. I'm a huge fan. Yeah. But yes, and I live in San Diego now. It's beautiful. Wow. But you pay. That's why I work to live in
Lisa,
San Diego.
we're 60 miles apart. I live in Orange County.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
We should have done it in studio.
Well, Tommy would have gotten jealous. He would have gotten jealous. So so we try to keep him involved.
Are you in New York, Tommy?
I live in Connecticut, right where WWE is. Still in San Diego. I've been here all my life.
Oh my gosh! When I get a phone call and it says 219, I still get freaked out.
It's 203.
203.
I'm sorry, 203. I don't know why I said 219. 203. I go, wait, I'm not with the company. I'm not getting fired or released.
No.
Or I'm not getting switched to SmackDown or to Raw or all that kind of stuff, But when I get the call, I go, what is this? What is this? What did I do wrong? You know what I mean? Yeah.
So Lisa, where do we start? You've had such a unique career. You started out as a fitness competitor in the 90s. So was WWE on your bucket list?
It was not. It was an accident that I got into the business, and I'm not tooting my own horn, you guys. I'm very lucky I got the opportunity, but I wasn't one of those kids where like I'm going to be a diva or a wrestler. It all came as an accident, and that was from meeting Torrie.
Wow.
Do you want me to go into how that happened?
Not yet. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay,
She's talking about Torrie Wilson, former WWE.
Torrie Wilson. I apologize. Everyone should know Torrie. I don't need to say the last name, but they might think it's the other Torrie with the T-O-R-I. And remember her? My gosh, she was there too. But Torrie and I did fitness competitions together, which means like bodybuilding, not jack, but I was jacked. But and you do a dance routine that has certain gymnastic moves, splits, certain moves have to be incorporated. And I met her originally at Galaxy. It was a competition where we did an obstacle course, like what the military does, and physique. And then the option was to do a dance routine. And I had gymnastics background and dance background, so I always incorporate all three. And we met through that. And we met at another competition. We ended up becoming roommates because we were both sponsored by Life O2 Water. And she was my roommate, and I scared the hell out of her. I ran up to her, I go, I'm your roommate. And you know how shy Torrie is? Like very meek and very quiet. I scared her, but we became best friends from there. And she ended up, I lived with her in LA. And she was doing WCW because Kevin Nash saw her in a fitness magazine and wanted her. Yeah. So I go, what are you doing? So she took me backstage to WCW, and I was like, you get paid to walk a dude out? Oh my gosh. And she goes, she was trying to get me into WCW, but didn't happen. But when I was backstage, they saw me and they're like, Eric Bischoff said, hey, do you have any cute clothes? We'd like to use you in a segment. And I'm like, so one of the Nitro girls gave me one of their cute outfits. And my first gig, I didn't get paid. I'm just backstage supporting Torrie. Sitting on Scott Hall's lap, twirling his curly Q. And, you know, I know nothing about wrestling, And I'm like, you know, who is this dude? Like, I mean, like, I was clueless, you know. I knew, you know, the whole, you know, I knew like big names, you know what I mean? In China, I knew, of course. And, okay, then going forward, I met China at a health club, Crunch in West Hollywood. And I go, you know, they charged her to come in, but Crunch in West Hollywood has a lot of celebrities coming in. I went up to her and talked to her and gave her a stack full of passes, no expiration date, don't pay next time, here you go. And I said, I have two friends that are in your industry, is Trish Stratus and Torrie Wilson, because our fitness background. And she goes, wow, you have a good look. Have you ever thought about wrestling? And I was like, you know, like, I think I can do what RVD does and Rey Mysterio because of gymnastics. You know, I wanted to be a flyer. And I go, she goes, you really have a good look for it. You should look into it. And she wrote down the address for me. I paid $600 on VHS for a tryout video and my packaging, because I'm in LA. Editors are everywhere. You can find someone. And the music, mine was so professional. I punched the screen with a boxing glove, and it goes, Lisa Marie Varon. And I got a call a month later from Kevin Kelly. And he said,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Kevin Kelly.
Yeah. 30 days later.
I forgot.
You know, you're not holding your breath for this. You know what I mean? You know, like, you're just going, they might, you know, they're probably not going to call me back, but, you know, I don't want to present myself half-assed. I wanted to give this is me. And he said, JR has your whole package on his desk, and he's never seen such a professional package put together to get looked at. We would like to meet you. And I said, well, what do you see me doing? Obviously my body type is not a Torrie Wilson or a Trish Stratus. He goes, we actually see you wrestling. Do you have wrestling background? I said, my three older brothers were amateur wrestlers. My oldest brother was in the Pan Am Olympics and got the gold. I go, but I am an athlete. And he goes, well, we'd like to meet you in 30 days when we're at Staples Center. I Googled, it wasn't Google at that time. I forgot what it was.
Probably AOL, probably.
Probably. Yeah, you're right. Because I still have an AOL account, you guys. Okay, so I Googled AOL, whatever, searched pro wrestling school. One came up, UPW, which happened to be the developmental territory for WWF at the time. And I called Rick Bassman. I said, hey, WWF called me. They want to meet me in 30 days. Could I attend your school and learn a little basics and stuff like that, thinking it's like a dance routine. You can memorize the whole thing. And I drove 3 hours to this school, and they had me doing bumps right away. And, you know, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You know, I think they try to weed you out. Let's see how tough this chick is. I come in with fake nails, my hair long, matching workout gear, no boots. I don't have boots. But I came back the next day. I couldn't turn my head. And they're like, what are you doing here? I go, I was invited to come and learn wrestling. Was I not? Did I misunderstand? Samoa Joe was there, John Cena. Oh my gosh.
They were all there at the same time. Cena?
Kazarian, Jerry Lynn.
That's right.
All these big names, but we were not big names at the time. And Samoa Joe he goes, let's go on the side. Mike Bell. I'm missing names. There was Christopher Daniels. Samoa Joe took me aside because I'm going to teach you how to lock up. And so he took me on his wing. I think I earned the respect by, you know, I was hurting to come back and like still pursue it. You know what I mean? And then,
but let me ask you. Let me stop you right there, because we're going to get into your development in just a little bit. But before we move away from that, I think people they hear you talk that you were all brawn, but you were a lot of brain too. You had other jobs. Like I read that you used to remove human tissue.
Yes, I removed corneas, saphenous vein, bone, heart for the heart valves, middle ear, sometimes skin, and for transplantation. So I worked at the Eye and Tissue Bank, and it was located in Redlands, Loma Linda University. And I wanted to go to med school. So I went to go apply. My education was, I went to RCC, Riverside Community College. Then I went to Loma Linda University, which was a private school. But everybody that went there, pre-med, pre-dent, nursing, it was medical based.
Hardcore.
And I knew I needed to go in that school to get accepted, because I'm not Seventh-day Adventist. So to go into their medical school, we started, like, that school was so freaking amazing you're working on human, like you're testing your own urine. Like it was the first quarter and of biology.
Tommy does that all the time, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then it was very lonely there because I wasn't Seventh-day Adventist. I transferred to UCLA and went there, and the education. I love UCLA. Don't get me wrong, but I said, hey, when do we get to work on cadavers? We were working on cadavers, and they're like, oh, you don't do that until med school. And I go, oh my God, I just left a great school. I didn't know, because I was lonely. I didn't have friends, and you had to live in the dorm, all girl dorm. You had to go to church services on the weekend, 2 or 3. I mean, it was really strict, but that's how I got my job at the Eye and Tissue Bank. They saw I went to Loma Linda University, La Sierra, and I got the job. My ex-husband, who had a friend named Rob Newth, I can't believe I remember his name. I go, hey, I would love to work there and learn on the job. And I went in. They saw my resume, and I started that day. They go, here, you can take your suit off. I'm gonna put you in scrubs. Hey, we got an eye donor. We're going to go to the coroner's office. Hey, go piggyback with this guy and just watch what we do. And I ended up doing that for a living. That's how I got addicted to working out, because cutting through, my family, we don't eat healthy. We just eat, we love food. We're foodies. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is my future. High blood pressure. The young kids are dying. And it's like, I got addicted to working out. My ex-husband owned a gym. Got really bulked up. Like I started teaching aerobics, but then I started lifting, and my body changed from lifting.
Of course.
Got addicted. That's how, when I met China, I was jacked because of the fitness competitions.
So you're jacked up. You meet China. You're in school. You're all about this stuff. So then in 2000, because me and Trish Stratus started on the same day, 2000, your very first appearance on WWE television. After all the education you've had, after everything you've done, they come up to you and they say, Lisa Marie, we've got an opportunity for you. And you're going to be a part of the Ho Train.
The Godfather Ho Train.
What was that conversation like?
I knew that's my foot in the door. I didn't care what. I don't care if even I was like backstage helping or, being a PR person or anything like that. I knew it was my foot in the door. And the girl, Mandy, the other Godfather Ho, we were both 2 head hoes. She was at my wrestling school too. So they were looking for permanent hoes because, you guys, Godfather, when you're going to towns, they used to get the Godfather hoes from strip clubs. So they would send a crew out to go search. And, you're not going to get the top people. Yeah,
I did that. That was one of my jobs.
Yeah,
yes.
So you're not some of the towns, you're not going to get grade A strippers, you know what I mean? So they were looking for 2 permanent hoes. And when I came backstage, I met Godfather's wife, Charles's wife, and he's still married to. And we met her, and I think we needed to get her okay because we're going to be on the road all the time with the guys, and that make sure that we're not going to be doing extracurricular activity. And we became permanent hoes, and the Ho campaign happened. And when Godfather turned to RTC, right to censor.
Yep.
He got pulled into RTC, and they asked, hey, he needs to turn on one of the hoes, and we need to throw one of you through the table. And I go to wrestling school. Yeah. And if you watch that rerun, he always, when I see him at Comic-Cons and stuff, he goes, I just still want to say sorry for throwing you so hard. But they thought I was so light that I wouldn't break the table. So I go, I think I weigh more than Spike Dudley, I think, and he threw me with all the might. And I did not know I was going to do one more segment in the hospital, and I didn't know it was going to take me off TV. Then they moved me. I was from Memphis Championship Wrestling to OVW. So UPW to Jerry Lawler School, Memphis, then to OVW. Jerry Lawler was the one I heard you want to be a wrestler. You need to move to Memphis. That's when I was talking to Kevin Kelly. Jerry Lawler told me I should go to Memphis, and he goes, oh, you're willing to move? And I was like, yeah, I want to do what's in the ring. I want to be in the ring. And so came back the next week. Remember how we were just doing Raw and SmackDown? And Velocity or Sunday Night Heat. And that next week, Kevin goes, how fast can you get to Memphis? And I was like, when do you need me? He goes, next weekend. Went back, told my ex-husband we need to move to Memphis. I go, I'll probably go on my own because I thought wrestling school is just 3 months or something. We packed up the U-Haul. He goes, no, I'm going to go with you. Packed up the U-Haul, moved to Memphis, was there for a year. That school closed down. Then I got transferred OVW,
Right.
freaking that's the freaking PhD school, John Cena, David Batista, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Shelton Benjamin, like everybody at that school, Eugene, Rob Conway, all the people that I went to school at that school made it. You know what I mean? And it was Danny Davis and Jim Cornette ran it. But yeah, I moved. Like people think like, hey, where can I go to a wrestling school local? I'm not willing to move. And I go, then you don't want it bad enough.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
It's sacrifice, man. Sacrifice.
Have to.
You talk about making it, right? You've had a unique career, really. You went from valet to a women's champion, right? So what was that run like doing that?
Freaking A. I didn't know, they called me several times from OVW. I would get to the airport and they would change their mind. David Lagana wanted me to be a Valley girl, and they were like, "Oh no, she doesn't fit that mold." And I sent back home, which was a blessing. But I thought at the time, you know what? They're testing me to see how bad I want it. Have her get ready to go to TV 3 times, but send her back. And I still stayed. And every time I came back to the class, they're like, "Aren't you supposed to be at the airport?" And I go, "They changed their mind again." And they're like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm glad that happened because my character coming back was the psychotic, obsessive Trish Stratus character, so it was a blessing. I don't think I would have done the Valley girl, even though I'm a California girl. I don't fit that mold. And my God. And then my, first match up there was with Jackie Moore with the dark matches.
Oh,
yeah. And and Trish was watching and she goes, "I want to have an angle with her." And so, it was nerve-wracking going backstage because they brainwashed me. Don't mingle with the wrestlers. They don't really want to know you. And I didn't even say hello. And I remember Bubba Dudley found out I got a 3-year contract, and he goes, "Hey, you got a contract now. Now you have to actually introduce yourself to the boys." I go, "Oh, I was told to stay away." And it was nuts. And I remember going backstage, and I went to go. That's when I started introducing myself, and I met The Rock. I don't know what to call him, Dwayne or whatever. I didn't even know what to call him. I was so new. And I was like, "Hey, Rock, Dwayne." I go, "My name's Lisa. I'm Victoria. I'm at the developmental territory." He goes, "Oh, I heard about you. We're so excited to have you come up." And I go, of course, I no-sold it and go, and I walked away. I go, "Holy shit, he knew who I was." You know what I mean?
Wow.
So, yeah. And, but, still to this day, I mean, every time you watched me get ready for matches, I would want to puke. I would be pacing and just so focused because I didn't want to screw up. Because as a rookie, you want to prove yourself that you belong there. And in the middle of your career, am I good enough to stay? Is my repertoire getting better? And that's why all of us girls would get there 4 hours early and get in the ring with Fit Finlay, Arn Anderson, Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair would show up and help us in the ring, And as a veteran, you can't mess up. You get the rookie girl. "Hey, why did this happen?" I go, "Oh, she didn't hear what I was calling next." And the fault would be the veteran. You know what I mean? You got to carry the baby face, But my longevity, I think, in the business, being there 9 years, was being easy to work with and being great with the rookies because I was very easygoing. I learned from Jazz leading a match. Like, if I'd go, "All right, baby, are you ready? Are you lost? All right. You know what? I'm going to punch you, stay down. I'm going to come back. Let me gloat." I wouldn't say that so many sentences.
Right.
I would gloat and come back and I go, "All right, start beating me up. Start." And so they were like, "Oh, it's so relaxing working with you." And I wouldn't get upset if someone messed up. You know what I mean? The show must go on. We're human. We make mistakes. And, it's
but you were the best. Like you're describing it, and I know you won't give yourself credit, but you were the best at that, and that's why everybody loved you and loved hanging around you. But you mentioned some of the names, and when you came in, by the way, people don't realize how invested Rock was during his really 3 or 4 year powerful run. He was invested in everybody. So you came at the same time as a Trish Stratus, Alita. You mentioned Jazz, all these different powerful women. But before you got there, Lisa, the women were little more than valets. What was it like to be a part of this movement where they literally said, you guys are going to get TV time, you're going to get matches that last longer than 90 seconds, and let's see what you can do with it? All of you girls had to be in on that.
And you know why? When Finlay got brought into the company, he got in charge of the girls. You know, when you go, Tommy, you were probably in the room where they're going over what the show is going to be about. And they're like, oh, Fit, you're in charge of the girls. And he goes, all right, you want me to give the girls? I'm going to make them fighters. He was the one that created, oh gosh, she needs to be really psychotic. And I was like, I thought I was working very intensely, but they said, you work like you're crazy. And I go, well, I'm Memphis style. So if someone is in the back row, I need them to see what I'm doing. So I was very exaggerated, facial hair, like just really, I'm going to kill you, right? And we were still doing fluff matches, lingerie matches. They were doing the pillow fights, bikini matches and stuff like that. But when we had to do those, as girls, we weren't too tickled. Our outfits were smaller than some of the lingerie we wore, and we're like going, okay, they want us to do this. Our cutoff spot, where I'm going to knock your head out, and we're going to make the fans forget we're dressed so skimpy.
Right.
So we would just work extra hard on those matches to make everything look so intense. And then we started getting more time than doing, Trish and I, hardcore match, street fight in Chicago. And then I had the first WWE cage match with Lita, and then hair versus title with Molly Holly. I was starting to get the hardcore matches, and everybody goes, how'd you feel about it? Were you excited to get them? Those are terrifying matches. I'd rather grapple than doing those, because things can go wrong and you can really seriously hurt yourself. I tore my ACL, broke my nose, chipped my tooth on that Madison Square Garden, New York, 2002 Survivor Series. That was that where Trish had we had this major angle that was lasting months, which I missed when the angles lasted so long. And then it came up to the peak of that hardcore match, and I won the belt. I broke my nose, and I remember telling Jack, our ref, I go, I broke my nose. He goes, do you want me to do the X? You want me to end it? And I was like, screw you, I'm winning the belt tonight. I'm like, no, tell her to stay away. Tell her to stay away from me. I'll be ready. My eyes were watering. And I go, okay, go. I just told her, I broke my nose. She goes, oh God. I go, keep on going. Adrenaline is an amazing drug. You just keep on going. You don't realize you're sore till the next day or when you get back home. But when you feel very like a pat on your back that you can handle those serious matches, and they're like, oh, give it to Victoria. She'll kill it. She'll do anything that we say. Which is true. If you give me anything, I'm going to do 110%. I'm going to prove myself.
Absolutely.
I can make a pillow fight look devastating. And I started getting all these, when they told us we're doing the cage match, I laughed, and Vic goes, no, I'm serious. And I go, are you freaking, he goes, look at the cage. And I go, holy shit. And when we got the cage match, people don't know this, I wanted to gig, which is cutting yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Fit went to Vince. I want to gig, and he said no. And I go, Vince said no. I go, I'm going to talk to him. And I've only talked to him like 4 or 5 times in my career. And it's always about business storylines, or, I said, hey, Vince, sorry to bother you. Can I get color? And he goes, oh no, Victoria, we appreciate it. No one wants to see a diva bleed. And so I came back and I told Lita, throw me as hard as you can against that cage. Throw me. And we were not allowed to use the cage so much because we were females. Don't use it so much because, we got to kind of make it a little girly. I don't know how to PC.
Yeah, that's a good word. That's a good word, yeah.
Girly. And so she threw me as hard as she can. I went, boom. And I even asked, hey, can I have the ref gig me? And he goes, no. And I go, how about, hey, Fit, can you do a run-in and you gig me? And he goes, no, they're going to screw it up your face. You might not get color. And then I went. I didn't know how to gig myself. You're supposed to go on the cage and scrape to open yourself, right? I just went clunk, come backstage, huge lump on my head, huge. I was like, I didn't do it right, yeah. But dang, of course I had the lump on and no black eye, and you kind of want to show that, because we were trained to be not girl fighters. We didn't want to have the best female match. We wanted to have the best match on the card.
Gosh,
We were
love
so
that.
competitive.
You brought up Fit a lot of times here, and that was my next question. Why was Fit Finley such a great fit, excuse the term,
Yeah.
for the women?
He had such confidence in us. Like, he did not look at us like girls. He looked at us as just equal as the men. And, you know, when you would go in there and grapple, you know, I told you we got there 4 hours before you guys had to be there, the call time, because we wanted to get like, hey, I need
Yeah.
one more move, something different. You know what I mean? And when he would grapple with you, I remember he took me down and I got the wind knocked out of me. And I go, Fit. He goes, he would laugh about it. And I'm like, he just trained us to be tough and just freaking, we wanted to be the best. And he was so proud of us. You could see us even backstage at catering. Fit would be at the table. All of us girls would be eating with us.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was like our dad or our grandpa. He was our mob boss. Our mob boss.
Lisa,
Yeah.
I remember, Lisa, when you would watch him watch you guys perform, the pride that he had, and we're talking about one of the badass wrestlers of all time, Fit Finley. But when he took over you guys, I remember, I get emotional talking about this stuff.
Yeah, me
anyway,
too.
Right? The pride he had in you guys, but then the protection that he also gave you. Everybody knew in the company who was in charge of the Divas and where you guys are going to go. He got all the credit. I used to be amazed at that. Did that amaze you at what he put into you girls?
Yes, absolutely. But in my generation, everybody, they were really great. You know what I mean? He just had to pull out what drove us and what our emotional connection with the fans. I just became the bully in high school and junior high and elementary school. And when they gave me Stevie Richards, he also gave me confidence. He would, you know, I would want to throw up, and then I'd get nervous belly, and I was like, my hands would sweat before going out. And he would go, "What are you doing?" He would shake me, he goes, "You're so good. You're so good out there." And I'm like, I just want to do it. I want to be great. I just don't want to mess up, which is no such thing as messing up. And him and I had such great chemistry. We never went over anything. Like I remember they wanted me just to smell him, and I got so into my character because once I hit my music, I would be pacing backstage. I'm wearing my pajamas on the bottom half. I would be pacing, going, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit." Once I would go, "Yes, I've lost my mind." I went, "I'm gonna kill you." I went into this other person, like personality split, you know, and it was like for him, he did protect us and he didn't treat us differently. And when we came backstage, we didn't want a pat on the back. What did I do wrong? Like I felt like that clothesline stuck, right? He goes, "No, it was really good." And I go, No. He goes, "We'll watch it tomorrow in catering. We'll break it down and I'll tell you where you did wrong." He goes, "You could have laid that in more." You know, that's, you know, we were so critical watching ourselves. We wanted to be the best, I'm telling you. And this is how great we became in my generation when, you know, okay, also William Regal was ringside and like all these, Lance Storm was always there, Tommy Dream. There was like names that wanted to see us get better. Then when we were getting there 4 hours early, then the guys started coming in at that time, trying to help us out because I think we were getting such great positive feedback from the office. I think the other guys started showing up to get that kind of, they got the respect, you know what I mean? Everyone had the respect, but they wanted the extra where, you know, I was here early working with Fit Finley, William Regal, Arn Anderson, Ricky Steamboat, and, you know, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
I think that's a great point. So, which really leads into my next question because it wasn't, I mean, we're talking about like it was all great. When you're on the road 200 days a year, it's not all great. Did jealousy ever step into the picture at any time after a couple of years when you guys are getting all this time?
I think from the boys, we started getting more time. So what happens when the girls get more time? It cuts down on the other matches, right? Right, Tommy? Mm-hmm. You'll hear them going, "You got 6 minutes," you know, or you know, and I think that's not jealousy, but they're like, "Oh man, they just cut into our time." We were really good about sticking with our time because we didn't want to get in trouble with the office. You know what I mean? The referee was going, "You need to be done by 2 minutes." because the next match. And of course, you got to keep your time, because do you want to take time out of freaking Undertaker's match at the end, or Shawn Michaels?
That's
No.
true.
Or The Rock? No. They're like, oh, great. The girls went over a minute. Now we have less. These are the main eventers that fill our seats. They're the ones that are the breadwinners, right?
Yeah.
And it was just freaking nuts. And not jealousy within the girls. We don't forget, we only had one match a night. So
Yeah.
I think we were all fighting for that one spot, that one match. So it wasn't jealousy. It was like, I got to do better. I want that match. I want to be in the ring. I want to the ring. So competitive. It made us all work harder and perfect our craft. You know what I mean? So we all we had to step it up, man. Step it up,
Yeah.
Yep. And there was one mark out moment. I remember when I got first brought up. I don't know why, ADHD queen.
I love. I'm having a ball. I'm having a ball.
Yeah.
I really
so
am.
when I got brought up as the Godfather, no one knew. I mean, like, I was eating at the table by myself, and I would go, let me go take this. Oh, when I first came to the locker room, I got a contract, but no one knew this.
Right.
I come back to the locker room, my shit is outside the fucking room. Excuse my language. My suitcase, everything.
Well, they thought you were an extra.
And then, yes, they thought I was a stripper. I came back, they're like, sorry, this is for contracted girls only. And I'm like, okay, I just signed a 3-year contract. I go, but I didn't even give eye contact. I just rolled away. And the reason why they did, I understand now, it was explained later. Some of the strippers they would have their purse and like their wedding rings would be missing in the locker room. But, I learned that way later, where the extras should have their own locker room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I was always uncomfortable with. And they made me I got dressed in the janitor's office, the janitor's room. So, I just thought it was them testing me, honestly.
Yeah.
And then when I went, back to when I was the Godfather Ho, not talking to anybody, I saw China at the table sitting with Triple H and the big wigs, right? And I'm like going, I got to go say thank you to her. So I went up to her and I go, hey, China, I go, I just want to say thank you. I met you at Crunch and you told me to reach out, and I actually got a contract. And she goes, who are you? What's your name? And I go, but I guess she didn't mean to shit on me, but I walked away. I go, oh my God, I just made it ass in front of all the main eventers, like at the table. And I just walked around. I walked back with my tail between my legs. And then she was realizing, okay, we're in the locker room. This is when I was contracted. I was be able to get dressed with everybody and all that. I was welcome, but I still was the outsider. She came into the locker room. She goes, hey, Victoria, do you want to go grapple in the ring? Everybody stopped and go. And then she slept. She goes, oh, hold on. I got to go do a pre-tape. I'll get geared up and we'll go out to the ring. And she left. Everybody goes, she has never asked somebody to go in the ring and roll around. And I go, of course, I was like, oh, that's cool, man. I go, oh my God, I didn't want to show too much confidence. You gotta know your place. And I think she wanted to have an angle with me. That's why, because I think I was getting pushed so much. You know what I mean? And I was hoping someday. I only had 2 segments with her. I had an affair. Mandy and I were in the shower with Eddie Guerrero, and then she came and beat us up in a locker room. The second episode. Do you remember that, Tommy? You were there.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, maybe we're gonna have an angle. And then all of a sudden, all that poop stuff happened, all that kind of stuff. And then she ended up leaving the company. And I was like, oh, I could have had an angle with her. Oh my God, that would have been so epic. It was on my bucket list. And she was really nice to me. When she ended up getting hired from TNA, Impact Wrestling on Spike at the time, or was it on Spike? I don't remember. She came up to me.
I think it was Spike after Raw left. Okay. Yeah.
And this was like a lot of hardship. She was going through a lot, in her personal life. And, we all do. We all have personal stuff. People, we're not perfect. You guys got to be gentle on us. Mental issues. We all just, family life, our marriage's demise because we're on the road 4 days a week. When you get home,
100%.
Your loved one gets the shit end of the stick. They don't get my makeup. I'm in a muumuu, zit cream. I want to sleep all day, and I got to do laundry. I got to fly out tomorrow. So you're like, do you want to go out to dinner? No, I'm tired. I've been working this whole weekend. And she came up to me at TNA. She goes, I don't know even if she called me Tara. I think she called me Lisa. I think that. And she goes, hey, I just wanted to say, You have always been very supportive, even the stuff I went through and all that kind of stuff. You've always been nice to me. And I just want to say thank you. And it means a lot to me. And I'm like, hey, we're all human. You know, we got to support each other. We're all on this really difficult career. It's, you know, it's not about like judging people, you know, and it's just about like supporting one another. You know what I mean? I've always been,
Yeah.
I think I grew up that way. It's just like not judging and just loving everybody and
Yep.
just having fun with it, you know, that kind of thing, you know?
You spent a lot of time in the developmental territories where some of these small territories, these developmental didn't have TV. So how was it beneficial to you when you were in these territories and to learn from your mistakes until you made it to the big time and playing in front of the big crowds? How did that work out for you?
Tommy, UPW didn't have TV. MCW, we had Power Pro in Memphis. We did Saturdays. Um, Dundee, I think I got married to him on TV there. We were TV, like the news channel. So it wasn't really, it still was TV, but don't forget, I'm a rookie. I still am learning and like, you know, hey, you didn't face the hard camera. You need to pull your hair back and show your facial expressions. And then UPW, freaking different breed, like working with Jim Cornette, Danny Davis. Eugene took me under his wing, Rob Conway. I used to get there 2 hours before our class because I was a freaking rookie. And they wanted to teach me all these moves and like just the basics, locking up. Hey, your feet are moving too much. You don't look confident, that kind of stuff. And when you get to, this is why I say, like, you know, when people ask me, hey, what school should I go to now? Like when I get kids, I go to OVW. You are trained to be on television. They have their own television.
That's right.
That's how it's done, isn't it?
That is molding you for freaking TV or Monster Factory. You know, you're geared towards television, and because television matches are completely different than house shows or live events.
Yep.
Yes.
Live events, I can go and mess with the fan,
Yep.
you know, get more mingled with the audience. I don't have to play to a camera. Like we're playing to like, you know, thousands of people at a house show. On TV, millions. So you got to give the people on TV, they're tuning in, paying our, you know, we're getting sponsored by commercials and stuff like that. But it's, and I always recommend, like, if their goal is to make it to WWE, you need to train with a school that someone has made it. They smarten you up. You know, Al Snow, I worked with.
100%.
Yeah,
Right.
and they're going to be completely honest. No bullshit. No blowing smoke up your ass. And they're not going to just take money for you to come to their school and pay their bills.
Well, it means something, right, Lisa?
Yeah.
You know, Al was my partner for 3 years, and he's still doing OVW. He's still out there. But to your point, it was TV, but it wasn't national TV. So if you made mistakes,
Right.
it was okay.
That's what I
So
meant.
let's fast forward because, man, I'm loving this interview. I absolutely love it. Let's talk about some of the.
Well, I got to get more viewers than DDP.
I hope so. Believe me, we all hope that. We all hope that.
Here we go. This will help.
Let's talk about some of the girls today. Let's start with Bayley. She's a current champion. I feel like she's being overlooked a lot. We do here at Behind the Turnbuckle. But I know that I saw an interview that you did, and I'd love for you to tell the story that at some point she called you or came up to you and asked you about using one of your moves. Is that correct?
Okay, this is what happened. Okay, so when I used to own a restaurant called the Square Circle in Chicago, she came to the restaurant. We used to always have, like, after WWE shows, after TNA shows, after indie shows, they came to our restaurant. We would feed the wrestlers for free, and we would watch. If it's an indie show, they'll give us your tape. Well, see, DVD, no VHS, but we would play it, and so the fans can watch themselves. And you know, Kevin Nash has been to our restaurant a lot, but they never charged me for the appearance. It was just like supporting each other. And it always, also too, you guys, be nice. You be humble in this business. I was always nice. They always wanted to see me do well. And
That's right.
Bayley came to the restaurant, and I go, oh my God, it's so nice to finally meet you. She goes, I actually met you twice. I was in line to meet you and Maven when I was 11 years old, and another time with Edge in Sacramento. And I go, no way. She goes, I told you I want to be a diva. You know how many times you hear, I want to be a diva?
Yeah.
And never, you know, they don't realize the hard work. She became a freaking diva, okay? Or what? A women's champion. They don't use diva anymore. I got called up to Rumble. I was so freaking nervous. I was still introducing myself as, hi, my name's Lisa. I used to be Victoria. They're like, we know who you are. And I'm like, you still have that inside you.
Of
I got
course.
to introduce myself. I got to shake everybody's hand. And then I was number 10 come out on the Rumble, and everybody wanted to take my move. And Bailey goes, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. And she did one time. I said, take this move. Crash Holly gave me the spinning sidewalk slam, which I call the spider web. Okay, boom. I go, take it. Use it on TV. And she ended up doing it. And then she ended up texting me or DMing me. She goes, hey, how would you feel if I did one of your move? Would you mind if I do that? I go, please do it. I'm not active anymore. It's homage to me. Like, it's very flattering if someone uses your move. It's not stealing. It's very flattering. And she was like so sweet. Like, oh my gosh. She saw I was nervous at the Rumble. She kept on pulling me. You got everything? You got everything? Because when I was number 10, they're like, hey guys, Victoria's number 10. Let her get her shit in. And I started crying. This is at rehearsals to find out your number. And they're like, let her get her shit in. And I go, this has never happened to me. Oh my God. And Mickey James was there. Torrie did not know I was booked on that. She was there. She goes, Sis, you're on the Rumble. I go, I did not tell anybody. I didn't tell anybody. They called me 2 weeks before, kept it to myself. I wanted it to be a surprise. And I was like, Mickey, I go, what's my repertoire? I don't remember everything I do. Get this in, and get this. And they would see me. I would go outside by the trucks because I was so freaking nervous. I was about to throw up, and I'm like, God, I haven't wrestled in years. They're expecting me to do so well. There was just a lot of pressure coming back as a veteran, and
sure,
you don't want to fall or screw up or anything like that. And they kept on like, are you out here again? I go, I'm nervous. Being in that locker room, it's bringing back so many memories. Like, and it was so loud in there. I was just my ADHD. I was like going, I need to go focus on my match. And then Torrie brought me fruit because she goes, Sit, I guarantee you didn't eat. I go, I didn't. She goes, eat some fruit. You can't go out there with nothing. And because she knew everyone saw, I'm not ashamed. I'm nervous.
Shouldn't
be. Everybody should be freaking nervous.
Yep.
Not just a little bit, a lot, because it shows that you care and you have passion for this and you want to do so well. If you're too comfortable or, hey, que sera, no, you need to be a little nervous to go out there. That means you don't care. And then, like,
Lisa, do you know this happened? To your point, whatever it was, 2019 when Stone Cold came back. This is to Lisa's point. I hate to interrupt you. So Stone Cold's standing there backstage, and he looks at me, and you could tell that he was unbelievably nervous. And he's like, Coach, I'm so nervous. What if they don't remember me? And I looked at him, and I said, you are Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
There's only ever been one. And he went out there. I don't know if you guys remember this. He actually said my name on the microphone. He said, I was just backstage. The coach was talking to me, and he reminded me of who the hell I am. And he's, arguably top 3 star of all time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, too, I think people forget, we're big deals in the company, right? And we're on the road. The fans are waiting for you to pull up in your car and stuff like that. They forget that we come home. It's normal. I got to unload the dishes. I got to steam clean the carpet. I have laundry to do. I still have a normal life. I got bills to pay. Yep. And, like all that kind of stuff. I have dogs to take out to go and clean up the pee-pee pads and all that. They forget that we're still human and live a normal life.
No doubt.
That when we go back in the spotlight, it's not what Ric Flair's, limo driving and all that kind of stuff. We're still like going, I came back. That's why I was introducing myself to everybody. My name's Lisa Victoria. I was back in the day. They were like, I know who you are. And I'm like, okay, because you're out of it so long, you're
100%.
not people are like, can you go shopping and not get recognized? And I go, I don't do my face when I go to the grocery store. I go, I wear a bun. I go, no, I don't get recognized, and I do at Walmart. That's the only, because our action figures.
So you were talking about.
Hint, WWE, I need a Legends. I need a new action figure. Tugboat goes, where's your action figures? Where's your new action figures? I go, Fred, F you. I don't have one. I don't have one.
You were talking about coming home, and during the Attitude Era, the travel was just brutal. It was brutal for us guys for TV production, but even worse for you guys. So what was that schedule like for you? What did it do to your life?
well, I'm divorced.
Me too.
Yeah. It's not, I don't want to blame the business. I did get married too young, and we owned restaurants together. So he was at work all day. When you own a restaurant, he was the chef. You're there all day. I was just on the road. We just left. We were like great roommates, great friends, but we just lived different lives and we grew apart. And it's not. People forget that we don't ask for anniversaries off. Christmas, you might go to Iraq. Thanksgiving we had off, but like you work through birthdays, death in the family. Like there's a lot of stuff we miss at home that you're just in a bubble, and it's not a 9 to 5 job. When I come home, I'm like going, shit, I got to go tan. This was when tanning was a thing, not the lotions now. I got to go tan. I got to go hit the gym. Okay, I got to pack for this weekend. So my whole days at home, I'm ready to go get on that plane again and not do anything fun at home. It's just everything revolves about, I got to go back on the road, so it's 4 days a week. Remember we had 2 live shows. Was it 3 live events? 3 live events. Then
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
Or in Raw, and back in the day when we started Raw and SmackDown too, or Sunday Night Heat and Velocity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just ongoing. But do I complain about it? I love what I did. It bit me in the butt, and I'm not like when people say, "Oh, you were so underrated." I go, "Was I? You still remember me? I made an impact on your life."
Damn right.
I go, "I had a freaking great career. I have nothing to complain about. I'm able to see you at this Comic-Con, and you still call me Victoria. I must have did something right for you to be coming up to ask for a picture with me." I go, "I have nothing to complain about. There's BS that happens. You're lucky for the opportunity, and if you're not getting the TV time, it's someone else's time to shine. Don't be freaking jealous.
Wow.
Be supportive, man."
Well, that was a great attitude.
Yeah,
it really was. It really was.
But you have to do a doozy on yourself too. You have to talk to yourself.
100%.
I'm so tired. My God, I have a torn ACL. I'm like, I'm beat up. And then in my day, when we got injured, don't say anything.
Oh, no, never.
No.
Never.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
And then these days, though, if they have a cold or something like that, they're allowed to have a cold. You know what I mean? I can't because of
well,
COVID.
They don't get house show money like we did back then. That house show money was everything.
Money at all, like what they get now. No. And then I remember when I found out what the Diva search was getting, $100,000 for winning, or was it 100 grand?
250.
And I remember doing an interview. I go, I'm just jealous of Christy getting such a big paycheck.
Yeah.
And then they were like, Victoria's jealous of Christy Hemme. No, I was just jealous, not of her. So that was another time I talked to Vince McMahon. I knew they wanted to push the hell out of her. She was one of my favorites on the Diva search. I go, I know they want to push her. I went to Vince and I go, can I talk to you? And he goes, everything okay? He was, he goes, yeah. I go, give me Christy Hemme. I know she's going to be, you want her to be the next superstar. Give her to me. I'm going to make her look like a freaking rock star. I will take a freaking tumble. I'll fall in the entrance, make an ass out of myself. I'll make her look so freaking good. And she knew nothing about wrestling. I would get to house shows 3 hours early before our call time. We would go in the ring with Ricky Steamboat or Fit and like, hey, this is how you do this move. Like Ricky Steamboat gave me this one hair pull, and and then they kick their legs behind you, and I dumbed down all the moves. Dangle, dangle. We're gonna call it the dangle, 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 dangle. You know what I mean? So yeah. And then I just saw an interview she just recently did. Who was your favorite to work with?
Very
Lisa.
cool.
Victoria.
Very cool. Very cool.
But, when you're a heel, you don't need to get your shit in. You know what I mean? There's a time and moment.
You need to take the shit.
Yeah, you have to take the shit. We should have advertised on the bottom of our souls. I would have made more money putting sponsored by Reebok or Nike. Yeah, because I was on my back more than I was on, winning. Right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right, we got time for 2 more questions, and then we're going to have you on again because we have so much more we can get to. But our time's running out. Tommy, I know you got one about one of the greatest of all time.
Yes, the greatest, one of the greatest of all time. What did The Undertaker mean to you?
My God, I was so intimidated talking to him, but I remember being there 3 hours early. he goes, "Hey, Victoria, can I talk to you up in the bleachers?" You know, like, yeah. And I was like, "Oh, God, did I take one of his moves? You know, I already got my super kick taken away from me because of Shawn Michaels." I was, but it was way earlier. You know what I mean? But your head goes,
Yeah.
"Oh my God!" And he was, I think he was sitting with Rikishi too, and who's Rikishi? Oh my God, I love that man. You always
Love
call
him.
him, "This is my
Great
sister.
guy.
Don't you mess with her. Don't you mess with." And Undertaker goes, "Hey, you look like the Black Widow that plays pool." And I go, "Oh, the dark black hair that's Asian. I'm not a pool fan, but I have seen it." And so I put spiders on everything, the logo, like the hourglass on everything. And so I started trying to call myself Black Widow, and just everything was named after spider things, right?
Yeah.
And we became like, not tight, but he would watch our match and give us feedback. And
That's big.
I remember I was in the makeup area with Jan, and my fear, you're gonna laugh. I would take a Q-tip and clean my nose. My fear was to go sell something and someone sees something in my nose, and I'm doing this, and Undertaker walks by and he goes, and I go, "Oh, I want my nose clean. Don't you clean your nose?" And I went to his wedding. He started dating Michelle McCool, and I'm tight with Michelle, and I got a little bit more comfortable with Undertaker. And every time he went out there and he would go old school, I was backstage going, "Old school!" And then we went to overseas. We went to an overseas match, and watching the match, I used to joke. I go, "You're not doing the tombstone tonight, right? Should we take it out of our match?" Because I'm wrestling Michelle. I can kind of joke. I get away with that. And he goes, "No, you can take it." But he would come back, and we all watch it on the monitor. It's disrespectful not to watch other people's matches and not do the same body part. You have to change your match. If you see them doing something similar, change your freaking match.
Yes.
That's the art of just calling the match, not memorizing it. And he came back. He goes, "Hey, did you see that?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "I did 2 old schools for you." And I'm like, I did. And he goes, "For me?" He goes, "I know you love that move. I know you love that move." And yeah, and I went to his wedding, Michelle. That was very small. Coach, were you at his wedding with Michelle?
No, I was not at his wedding, but I was. Yeah.
40 people, 40 people, Coach. And they were doing their vows, and they were getting emotional. And when you go to the congratulations, like I just looked down, I go, "Your tough character, it's gone. I just saw you got emotional." He goes, "If you tell anybody, I'm going to kill you."
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Well, I think, Lisa, we're starting to see with his podcast, and people forget Michelle McCool was part of the very first Diva search, and I hosted the first 3. Yeah,
she's the one that eliminated.
She was a school teacher.
That volleyball, that challenge on the volleyball, she's the one that got me out.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I remember, I was so close with all of you girls because I hosted the first 3 seasons, and she was such a sweet person. I think that was kind of the evolution of The Undertaker, and now we're starting to see the real personality. We're starting to see the real Mark, so to speak. He's funny, and he's charismatic, and all these things, and now he's a true legend in the WWE.
And I tell you,
we got time for
disturbing. Wait, but it is a little disturbing because he wasn't allowed to do guest appearances. I heard a story from a fan. I went to go meet Undertaker, and I go, "How you doing, Mark?" He goes, "Can I call you Mark?" He goes, "Does that make you feel better?" I would, yeah. And it's weird seeing him, what we see him backstage. You know what I mean? Because
and it had to be a weird thing.
Yeah.
It had to be a weird thing when he went from
Undertaker has a Twitter. He has a Twitter? What the hell is wrong with it?
Exactly. All right, we only got time for one more question, but I got to ask you this because I think anybody that watches this interview, they're going to take away from it that once you're a part of the WWE, you're always a part of the WWE, and you feel like that you contribute in some way, shape, or form. So a few years ago when I was still at ESPN, and we took SportsCenter to WrestleMania, and I remember seeing on the front of the stadium the women in the main event for the very first time. I want you to tell me I'm literally getting chills asking you this question.
Yeah.
When you saw the women main event, the biggest show in the world for the very first time, as a fan, but as a person who helped push the female division through 2002 when it happened, what did that mean to you?
Actually, don't forget Lita and Trish main evented one time. I think they were both retiring. So they did main event once. And
this was Charlotte, and then we're the very first main event.
No, I know. And also too, it's just like, and they get like 2 matches a card. But I'm not jealous. I'm so proud. This is how I describe it. I feel like a grandmother that my grandbabies are, in college and they're doing well. And I got a straight A. You're like, oh, that's my grandbaby. I'm so proud. And, I have people before me to thank as well, like, Medusa, Sherry Martel, May and Mula, all these people have paved the way for me. And it's nice when they do shout outs and stuff like that, but it's not jealousy or like, anything.
Anything negative. Yeah.
Nothing negative. I'm proud, and of course I wish we had that more time and like all that kind of stuff, but I still had a freaking amazing career. I love what I did. You know what I mean? And so God bless them. And I just hope they're still staying humble and just appreciate the moment and appreciate who pays our bills? The fans, not the company. Be nice to the fans unless you're a heel. I believe in that. I still believe in the
Wow, this is great.
Well, that's exactly why we started this show, and me and Tommy have been blown away at the fans' reaction to this. But I think the reason they love Behind the Turnbuckle is it's all about stories. It's all about people like you. What's that?
Coach Tommy, Coach, wrestling fans are a different breed.
They are
freaking loyal. They're the more loyalist person on the planet. You cannot do wrong, even if you make a mistake in life. They still got your back.
They do. They do. I got to tell you this. Before we get out of here. You have always been one of my favorites. I adore you to my core. This has been the most enjoyable hour for us.
Yep.
And this right here, right, Tommy, is the whole reason we started the show.
That's
to
right.
reconnect with people that maybe we haven't seen in 15, 20 years. So
It's the
thank
best.
you. Thank you.
you.
On that note, we got to get out of here. There is only one. She will be back. I can promise you that.
Yay.
Lisa Marie, formerly Victoria.
Thank you.
Very much for being on Behind the Turnbuckle.
I love you, Tommy. I love you, Coach. Honestly, yes, I love you so much, and thank you, fans, for just always I love you so much. You have no idea. I'm just so appreciative and very humble, and I'm gonna cry.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
I get really sensitive on this stuff, but like, when we do this kind of interviews, you really appreciate. You don't realize what you've done. Like I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that. But thank you so much. I love you, and I'll see you on the part 2.
Yes.
Tommy,
Wow.
I'm exhausted. I am exhausted. How
Yeah,
good was that?
for the both of us.
But how sweet of a person is she?
She was getting a little welled up at the end there with us. So amazing, just simply amazing. Such a great woman, works hard, still working hard today. Was such a great interview, and I got to know her pretty well today. And it's what a great story, by the way.
Great story. And I think for people who are watching right now who maybe, because we're adding so many subscribers every single week, I think what you need to understand is that me and Tommy started the show with our producer because we realize it's all consuming. When you're in the WWE or any organization for that matter, pro wrestling is a different breed and the performers are different. It can take a lot out of your life. And we wanted to have a place, Tommy, where people could come and relive that and tell their stories and remember all the really cool moments and the bad ones too. That's exactly what she did. So to me, she's the epitome of why we started the show.
That's right.
So she mentioned that her very first appearance on WWE television was with the Godfather back in 2000. So Tommy, guess who our guest is next week right here on the show?
The man himself.
The man himself, the originator of something that would never fly today. And we're going to ask him all about that, the Godfather, right here on BTT next week. But that's all the time we have for Big Tommy C. For Producer Man, don't forget to join our BTT Plus. I am the coach. Thanks for hanging out with us right here on Behind the Turnbuckle. Take care.
The following announcement has been paid for by Behind the Turnbuckle Plus, the new pod order.